welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show. Quite a lot of stories coming in. But there's an interesting story coming in right now on Gyokeres that Manchester United are hijacking the deal, are close to an agreement. A deal is close to being done. Now, I'm going to be totally honest, I don't believe it. I think this is a negotiation tactic for them to get a higher bid out of Arsenal. It's not the most reliable source of information, but there's big reports coming out that the Gyokeres deal is close. There's links to Nicholas Jackson, and Mbeumo is signed. We're going to talk about why Mbeumo is a great signing. We're having talks with Edison. We're looking at midfielders. There is a lot to discuss, guys. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into all the news. We're going to get right into all the stories here. But yes, this is what is coming out right now. This is what is coming out right now here. So let's dive into it. We're going to start with Gyokeres news, talk about Nicholas Jackson, talk about Mbeumo, Rashford, the money saved. We've been looking at Edison and Ndidi. We're making moves from midfielder. And if we have time, we will talk about pre-season. But the breaking news coming out is that Manchester United are very close to an agreement with Sporting for Victor Gyokeres, with the numbers very close to those negotiated with Arsenal. The deal with Arsenal is increasingly in jeopardy. Now, this is not the best source of information. I personally don't believe this because I don't know where the money is coming from. We've signed Mbeumo. We haven't made any sales. We've saved 17 million in Rashford, but that is it. I don't know where this is. Personally, I don't know where the money is coming from for this. I don't know where the money is coming from for this. I don't think this is true, but there is reports coming out that apparently we're very close with Sporting for a deal for Gyokeres, blah, 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 and apparently the Arsenal deal is in jeopardy. Look, if this is true, brilliant. If this is true, absolutely brilliant. It'd be so funny to watch Arsenal crumble. I think Gyokeres is exactly what Manchester United need. But my question is, one, where have we got the money to do this? Where have we got the money to do this? And two, I don't know if this is the most reliable source of information. But then something interesting also came out just now. And then it's just come out from another source of information over in Portugal. So this is the second source of information over in Portugal saying, breaking, Ruben Amorim and Sporting are on the verge of a deal for Victor Gyokeres. Manchester United made a supersonic approach to Sporting and have presented figures slightly above those negotiated with Arsenal. So now we've got two sources of information coming out saying that apparently Manchester United are about to hijack the Gyokeres deal. They've got an agreement there, this, that, this, that, this, that. First of all, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. First of all, I honestly think that Sporting are putting this out to get a bigger bid out of Arsenal. There is talk of the Arsenal-Gyokeres deal collapsing. There was this report that came out about Gyokeres' dad crying, which did make me laugh because his move to Arsenal isn't going to happen, apparently. Apparently, there is a few reports coming out over today in the last 24 hours that Gyokeres to Arsenal is off. Arsenal will not pay Sporting what they want. Now, all of a sudden, funny enough, it's coming up that Manchester United will pay Sporting what they want. I honestly think this is a negotiation tactic to get a bigger bid out of Arsenal. I'm going to be completely honest. I wouldn't get excited about this. I wouldn't start believing we're going to sign Gyokeres. I think Sporting have put this out because they know that Man United are in for him, that Man United have paid up this price, so Arsenal got to pay up this price to get the deal done. I don't think Man United have got the money to do that. We just signed Mbeumo. We don't operate quickly in the market. This is too smart for Manchester United to do. Man United are not capable of just going to Sporting, making a bid, no one knowing about it, and reaching some kind of agreement. We're not capable of that. So if I was going to be totally honest with you guys, and my live chat has completely disappeared for some reason. If I was going to be totally honest with you guys, I think this is a negotiation tactic. I'm pretty confident this is a negotiation tactic to get a better deal out of Arsenal and that we are being used. Because at the end of the day, Victor Gyokeres hasn't agreed to join us. So even if we do give Sporting what we want, and even if we have bidded up this kind of money and we have offered Sporting what they want for Victor Gyokeres, do you guys honestly think that Victor Gyokeres is just going to come and join Manchester United? He's chosen Arsenal. He's chosen Arsenal over us. He's made it clear he wants a move to Arsenal Football Club. So even if this is true, that still doesn't mean we're going to get Gyokeres because he hasn't agreed to join us. He's agreed to join Arsenal. Now, there is talk of Gyokeres to Arsenal collapsing, and that would be good news for Manchester United. Oh, why is the Wi-Fi gone? Why is the Wi-Fi gone? There is talk of Gyokeres to Arsenal collapsing, and that would be good news for Manchester United, assuming Gyokeres would want to come to Manchester United. We don't know that for sure. We don't know for sure if Gyokeres wants to come to Manchester United. Apparently, he's open to it if he doesn't get his move to Arsenal, but he's made it very clear he wants Arsenal. And if he's made it very clear he wants Arsenal, let him go to Arsenal. But it could be one to watch. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with this Gyokeres news. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. I don't think we're getting Gyokeres and all of that as well. Ineos Wi-Fi. As Alex said, Victor Gyokeres clearly not keen to join us. We've not sold anyone else yet. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I honestly think we're going to sign Nicholas Jackson or Ollie Watkins. I'm going to be honest with you. We haven't sold anyone, so I don't know where the money's coming for this Gyokeres bid. We don't know if Gyokeres would come to us, but there's a lot of reports of Gyokeres and Arsenal falling apart. We are going to talk about midfielders. Manchester United are looking at midfielders. We are going to discuss that news, that story. Don't you worry, guys. There is a bit of news of United and midfielders. But yeah, just don't see the current funds for Victor Gyokeres regardless. That's what I mean. I just think right now, Victor Gyokeres and Arsenal. Victor Gyokeres, basically, Sporting know they're going to have to sell Victor Gyokeres. Sporting know they're going to have to sell Victor Gyokeres because he won't come back and play for them. And if he doesn't come back and play for them, they're not making any money for him and they're not keeping him at the club. Like, he's not playing for them. Sporting know they have to sell Victor Gyokeres, but the sporting director of Sporting has been an absolute knobhead and he's not letting Victor Gyokeres go for what Sporting said they'd let Victor Gyokeres go for. They want an arm and a leg out of Arsenal. They want a lot of money out of Arsenal. Arsenal are not being mugged off. They're doing what we did with Mbeumo. They're waiting and waiting and waiting because they know. And this is what Barcelona did with us. Barcelona knows that Rashford isn't coming back. So Barcelona knew if they dragged on the deal, we'd accept a loan. Arsenal are just dragging on the deal because they know that Sporting are in a position where eventually they're just going to have to accept a lower bid. Sporting do not want to do that. They're holding firm on the price tag. So what are Sporting going to do? Oh, Manchester United, they've signed Mbeumo. They want to sign a striker now. They want Gyokeres. Let's go and put out that Manchester United are going to pay us this amount of money to try and scare Arsenal into bidding up. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work one bit because I think Arsenal know that he doesn't want to go to Manchester United. Arsenal know he wants to go to Arsenal. So I don't think this is going to work one bit. If I'm being completely honest, I think we're just being used. I think we're being used as a bit of a negotiation tactic, being totally honest. Like right now, I'm going to be honest, Jackson is more close than Gyokeres. I don't personally believe the Victor Gyokeres news. If this came out from Ornstein, if this came out from Romano, it would be different. If this news came out from Ornstein and Romano, it would be different. But this news hasn't come out from Ornstein. This news hasn't come out from Romano. Do you know what I mean? It's not come out from them. So that's where I'm at. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't think we're getting Gyokeres. Would I like Gyokeres? Yes. Do I think we're being used to get a bigger bid out of Arsenal? Yeah. I think it's a BS story. I think it's an absolute BS story if I'm going to be completely honest. So yeah, I wouldn't consider it. I wouldn't get excited about it. All the sources in Portugal are reporting it. There's 3 or 4 sources in Portugal reporting this, which says to me Sporting have put this out. Sporting have put this out and informed all the sources this is happening. And Sporting would put that out because it would benefit Sporting. Do you know what I mean? Like they would put that out. They would want to scare rivals. Record Portugal have just come out. We've just got an update on Victor Gyokeres. Another breaking update coming out on Victor Gyokeres here from Record Portugal. So let me cover this here. This is a breaking update coming out from Record Portugal on Victor Gyokeres. But it was said that Manchester United and Sporting are close to agreement, but Gyokeres maintains his position on Arsenal. He only wants them. Ruben Amorim's Red Devils are negotiating within values demanded by Sporting, but United not in players' plan. So they're basically saying we're done a Frankie de Jong. They're claiming in Portugal that we've come up, we've given Sporting exactly what they want for Gyokeres, but Gyokeres doesn't want us. So why would we waste our time? Why would we offer Sporting exactly what they want for Gyokeres knowing he doesn't want us? We haven't done that. Sporting have made this up. Sporting have made up that Man United have bidded this amount so they can go and say to Arsenal, no, you're not having him for this amount because Man United bidded this amount. When we know Man United haven't bidded this. I'm pretty confident Man United haven't made a bid, and I'm pretty confident Man United haven't made a bid of the price tag that Sporting and Portuguese sources claim they are. I think Sporting just want to make Arsenal think that, so Arsenal will bid that because that's the money that Sporting want. That's my honest opinion. Alice, I believe United already know whether Gyokeres wants to join them or not. They are fully aware of the conditions that to make a deal. It's essentially up to Gyokeres. They'll find the money for him. Look, I think if Gyokeres turned around and said, I want Manchester United, I think Manchester United would cough up the money to try and get it done. I think Ruben Amorim really wants Victor Gyokeres. But I'm pretty sure he's going to Arsenal. It was basically reported by Ornstein and Romano like a week ago that this was basically a done deal. So I'm pretty confident he will go to Arsenal. He wants Arsenal. Look, we will be there in case the deal falls through. I think right now, if we don't sign a striker and this deal falls through, we will be there at the end of the window. But right now, I see Man United signing Nicholas Jackson or Ollie Watkins. I don't see us signing Victor Gyokeres, if I'm going to be honest. Sesko's there. Sesko's definitely an option. I can't see us getting Sesko. Unless Arsenal are using this Victor Gyokeres situation to then actually secretly go in for Sesko and get Sesko and maybe Leipzig lower his price tag, I don't know, and then maybe Victor Gyokeres is on the market. But if Victor Gyokeres isn't at Arsenal and he doesn't end up going to Arsenal, we do have a chance of signing Victor Gyokeres if he doesn't go to Arsenal. But I'm 99% sure he will go to Arsenal. I'm 99% sure this is fake news, and I'm 99% sure that Manchester United are being used to get a better bid out of Arsenal for Gyokeres. A lot of people are talking about Baleba in the chat. We're not in for him. I'll be honest. We might be in for him later in the window. As of now, we're not in for Baleba. Do I want Baleba at Manchester United? Absolutely. Would I love Baleba at Manchester United? Absolutely. But Manchester United are reportedly not in for him. We are in for a midfielder. We want a midfielder. We don't have the budget for Baleba. I'd love it. I honestly think a midfielder could be more important than a striker signing right now. I really do. Guys, we've got over 1,000 people watching, so let's see if we can hit 400 likes. If you have not already, please do go ahead and hit that like button. We need a midfielder that control matches 100%. If you watched the preseason game yesterday, we were lacking midfield control. We need a striker, we need a midfielder, and we need a goalkeeper. The three positions I want is a goalkeeper that's going to challenge Onana, a midfielder that can control games, progress the ball, and is going to have a physical presence, and a striker. They're the three signings I want. Victor Gyokeres, Carlos Baleba, and Lucas Chevalier would be my three first choices. Not going to happen, but it would be nice. It would be very nice. Do you think we'll get Mateta? No. We liked Mateta, but he doesn't want to leave Crystal Palace. We need a new goalkeeper for sure. I think a wing-back could be good, but yeah. So that is the Victor Gyokeres news. I reckon we'll get an update from Ornstein or Romano debunking this. Look, if Ornstein or Romano or a tier one source of information starts talking about this, I'll get excited. But right now, this is all coming out from the Portuguese side. This is all coming out from the sporting side. If this comes out from the English side of things, I'll start to get a bit excited. But until it comes out from the English side of things, I don't. I think it's a sporting brief to make Arsenal pay. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't get excited. I wouldn't believe it. I think it's a sporting brief to make Arsenal pay. What I do think we could be doing, and I've said this for a while, is I do think we could be signing Nicholas Jackson. Do I want Nicholas Jackson? No. Do I think Nicholas Jackson is a little bit underrated? Yes. Nicholas Jackson is a lot better than he gets credit for online. Not that I want him at Manchester United, but people are making out as if he's worse than Højlund, and he's definitely an improvement on Højlund. Not my first choice, not saying I want him, but yeah. So, this is what's been reported in regards to Nicholas Jackson. Manchester United have held talks with Nicholas Jackson's representative Ali Barrett over a potential move. A lot needs to happen in terms of outgoings for United, but one that could happen in the right circumstances. Worth noting that Chelsea have a long-term interest in Garnacho. Now, why is this important? Nizar Kinsella is a very good journalist in the Chelsea space. He's a good and accurate journalist in the Chelsea space. Now, the interesting thing he's seeing is a lot needs to happen in outgoings for United to make Jackson happen. So if United can't afford Jackson and we need outgoings to go and do a deal for Jackson, do you honestly think that United would have made a bid for Victor Gyokeres? This has come out an hour ago. We don't have the money to sign a striker without outgoings, yet apparently we've made a bid for Victor Gyokeres. This guy's a reliable journalist. For me, this guy pretty much debunks the Victor Gyokeres news in itself. I'm going to be honest with you, and I said this the other week. I can see a Garnacho-Jackson swap deal. I'm going to be completely honest. Garnacho was turning down moves outside the Premier League. I said this the other week when we were first linked to Nicholas Jackson. I think because we need funds to buy Nicholas Jackson and Chelsea want Garnacho, I honestly think some swap deal could happen. Now, what I don't want to happen is a straight swap deal because Garnacho is worth more than Nicholas Jackson. Garnacho is worth more than Nicholas Jackson. He's 100% worth more than Nicholas Jackson. I don't want to sign Nicholas Jackson. I don't think he's worth anywhere near the 50, 60 million that Chelsea want. I think he's an improvement on Højlund. I don't think Jackson's as bad as people make out. I think Jackson is underrated. But let's be honest, I don't want to pay 60 million for Jackson and then get 60 million for Garnacho. 45 million for Jackson and 60 million for Garnacho, we make the 15 million there, is better business. But when you do business with Chelsea, you're going to be on the bad end of it. You're going to be on the bad end of it. Chelsea got 52 million for Madueke, so they'll want 60 million for Jackson because Jackson is better than Madueke. For me, Jackson is not worth 60 million quid. I do not want to spend 60 million quid on Nicholas Jackson. But I honestly can see United out of pure desperation bending over backwards and doing a swap deal with Garnacho and Jackson. And that would annoy me because Garnacho is worth more than Jackson. It would annoy me. It would, because if you look at the value in the market, Garnacho being 4 years younger, he is worth more than Jackson. But I can see this happening. When you do business with Chelsea, you don't win. 60 million for Mason Mount with 1 year left on his contract that was then became injury prone. They got over 50 million for Madueke. Chelsea will want 60 million for Nicholas Jackson. We shouldn't be spending that kind of money on him. You know, if Madueke is 52 million, then Garnacho is 60 million. 100%. But if Garnacho is 60 million, Nicholas Jackson is not 60 million. But Chelsea will probably get more for Nicholas Jackson than we do for Garnacho because that's how it works. But I said this on July 12th. So I said this 8 days ago. When Nabil came out and said that United inquired about Jackson, I said, lol, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Man United and Chelsea talk about a Jackson Garnacho swap deal. Rewind forward 8 days later, we are now saying it's worth noting that Chelsea have interest in Garnacho. United need funds for Jackson. Chelsea want to sell Jackson. Chelsea want Garnacho. We've now signed Mbeumo. Romano confirmed. Now we signed Mbeumo. We're going to go for a striker next. This has it all over it. This has Garnacho, Jackson's swap all over it. I honestly think we could see a swap deal involving Garnacho and Jackson. I honestly do. Do I want it to happen? No. Do I want to sell Garnacho? Yes, because it will bring in funds. But I honestly think we could see this kind of swap deal happening, if I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. It's got Manchester United, Chelsea all over it. It's the type of business that they do. We shouldn't do business with Chelsea, but we do. I'm going to be completely honest. I see it happening. I see us signing Nicholas Jackson. I think the Gyokeres stuff is all BS. I think potentially Watkins is one to watch. I think Sesko is going to be out of our price range. Arsenal deemed him too expensive. I see Nicholas Jackson playing up top for United next season. I do. And people won't like me for saying that, but I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, guys, we're hijacking Victor Gyokeres. We're getting Victor Gyokeres. No, I think we're going to end up with Nicholas Jackson. And that's what I honestly think. And look, I said this on Nicholas Jackson. This is my thoughts on it. Honest thoughts on Jackson to Man United. Is he an upgrade on Højlund? Yes. His work outside the box is very good. I do think he's a bit underrated. He's an upgrade on Højlund. He has good outside the box work. I think there's a good player there. I do think he's a little bit rash. I do think some recency bias has shaped negative perceptions. He's got a few red cards. He's had a few bad games lately. He's been a bit rash lately. And all of a sudden, he's made out to be the worst striker in the world. He was very good at the start of the season. His work outside the box is very good. He is an improvement on Højlund. He is underrated. But no, I don't want him at United. He's a confidence player. We don't have that. He's a rash player. We don't want another rash player with, what's the word? So I think someone called discipline issues. We don't want another rash player with discipline issues. We don't want that. He's a confidence player that's rash and has discipline issues. Man United is not the environment for that. Is his work outside the box good? Yes. Is his link-up play good? Yes. Would he improve us? Yes. He took a Chelsea team that had finished, 12th to then 6th and then 4th. He's done enough. Yeah, he's not awful, but he's wasteful. He's erratic in front of goal, and at 60 million, there's better options out there. His movement is good. His overall play is good, but he's not a clinical finisher. He's a rash player with discipline issues, and at 60 million, I would not want that. I thought he was very good at the start of last season. And I think he's underrated online, but he's not who I want. He's not who I want. We need a spine. We need the right kind of players. He's a good footballer. I agree. He's a good footballer, but maybe not a good striker. There's a good footballer in Jackson. His all-round play is good. He's good at linking up play. I think he could work well with Mbeumo and Cunha. I think he's a good footballer. I just don't think he's a good striker. That's what I think. Chelsea would just take a money and buy Sesko. I think they would just buy. I think they want a defender next. To be fair, they're better than Højlund. Yeah, I mean it's an upgrade on Højlund, no doubt. There's an update on Højlund. I'm just gonna grab my water. Bear with me one second. My throat has just gone really dry, so I was going to start coughing. So yeah, that's what's come out in regards to Nicholas Jackson. Honestly, we're in talks with Nicholas Jackson. Multiple sources have confirmed we're in talks with Nicholas Jackson. We do have some interest in Nicholas Jackson. I could see this deal happening. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. We're in talks with Jackson. We have interest in Jackson. I could see this deal happening. We ain't getting Gyokeres, in my opinion. We could be getting Jackson. But look, let's talk about the news because I wanted to talk about Mbeumo and what a good signing it is. And as I was about to go live, this Gyokeres story came out. But I want to talk about Mbeumo. I want to just talk about the latest on that and why it will be a very, very good signing for United. Sam C has said that United are interested in Gyokeres, but he's not aware of any advancements yet. Apparently, Gyokeres is desperate to join Arsenal, which makes sense. He is desperate to join Arsenal. But let's dive into some more updates in regards to Mbeumo. So, news is coming out at the moment that Brian Mbeumo completes the second part of his Man United medical today. He was at Carrington yesterday doing the first part of his medical, and he's expected at Carrington to sign today and do media duties. I think Mbeumo is going to be announced tomorrow, and hopefully if he get the visa and everything sorted, he will be on the plane for pre-season tour with the rest of the squad on Tuesday. So Mbeumo is signed for Manchester United, and I quickly want to give this 2 minutes of my attention before I get into the next story. And Mbeumo is a fantastic signing for United. I think this is a fantastic deal. It's interesting that people are reporting Mbeumo as a 71 million deal and Ekatike is a 60 million deal plus add-ons. It's interesting that mainstream media only include the add-ons in the price tag when it's Manchester United, which I think is funny. And don't let the fact that Manchester United have caved and given Brentford what they wanted after 7 weeks and dragged on these negotiations take you away from the fact this is a good deal. Man United going and giving Brentford 71 million after 7 weeks makes it feel like a bad deal in that sense. And I think it being dragged on has taken the excitement out of it. But don't forget what a deal this is. Don't forget what a signing this is. This is a player that got 20 goals and 7 assists last season. This is a player that had the highest expected assists, the best number of crosses, the third highest for distance covered, has a good fitness record, good injury record, covers a massive amount of ground. The also other thing to bring it in is we're not in Europe next season, so injuries shouldn't be as big of an issue. So we can play Cunha and Mbeumo almost every week. We can have Ahmad if they don't get injured. These are players with good injury records in Mbeumo that score goals. That's proven that would work well with Xerxes. He has the highest expected assist, was the #1 creator, makes good runs off the ball, is a good ball carrier, good dribbler, which is exactly what Amram would want and would work well with Bruno Fernandes facilitating that in. I think it's a really good signing. I want to bring up something, if I can find it here, that Ruben Amorim mentioned. I want to bring up this, which Ruben Amorim mentioned on Cunha after the game yesterday. Ruben Amorim brought this up on Cunha after the game yesterday. We had a lack of pace, especially in the middle of the park, but we created some chances. I think Matheus Cunha showed what we need. Be really aggressive between the lines of the opponents. In the first half, the only thing that was somewhat exciting to watch was Matheus Cunha getting the ball, being aggressive, winning the ball, trying to make things happen. We have a lack of that. And Mbeumo and Cunha bring that, and that's exactly what Ruben Amorim wants from his number 10s. It's exactly what Ruben Amorim wants from his number 10s. And I can't wait for Mbeumo. I want to see him on pre-season. I can't wait for him to be in the door. I can't wait for Mbeumo. Let's continue on. We know Mbeumo's happening. It's about to be announced. When the players are literally talking about Mbeumo, oh, I just sent someone a message about Gyokeres, and he's saying he hasn't heard anything. So I sent someone reliable a message about this Gyokeres story to see if he'd heard anything, and he said no. But yes, going back to this, Ahmad said on Mbeumo, of course, I'm looking forward to playing with him. We need good players in the team who can bring something in the final third. Lenny Yora said on the Mbeumo signing, Brian is a really good player, really happy he's come to the club. That's my guy. I'm waiting for him now. That was long, but he's here now and I'm happy. The players have confirmed. The club hasn't even announced Mbeumo, by the way. The club hasn't even announced the Mbeumo signing, by the way, guys. But we've already got the Manchester United players being like, oh yeah, I'm hyped about this. We've not even announced it. We've not even announced this signing. And the players are coming out talking about Mbeumo and how they're excited for him to join and how this will be a good signing. I love that. I love that the players are coming out and going, yeah, Mbeumo, this will be a good signing. This will be a good deal. Yeah. It's we haven't announced Mbeumo. He hasn't even completed his medical yet. But that's how you know it's happening. That's how you know a deal is happening in regards to Mbeumo. It will be announced maybe tonight. I think it will be announced tomorrow. I assume it will be announced tomorrow. I don't know why we don't get Sesko, Price. I would go for Sesko over Jackson, but Price. We need number 9 that can win games by himself. Jackson's not the guy Chelsea just brought to replace him. Yeah, when Chelsea is selling a player, there's a reason they are selling a player. They're not going to sell you anyone that they think is good. Big up everybody. Let's go for 500 likes. How many likes are we on? Let me know in the chat, but let's go for 500 likes. Cunha and Mbeumo never played in a 3-4-2-1 system. How are people so sure they will succeed? Wouldn't be surprised if they struggle first game of the season. Cunha and Mbeumo have played in this system. They have experience playing in the 3 at the back system. Wolves last season under Gary O'Neill pretty much played Cunha in the same role we're going to be playing him in. If we look at Wolves, yeah, that's how they play. They play 3 at the back. Cunha is a left-sided 10 at Wolves. So I'm not quite sure what you're on about there. But why have I clicked on that? Bear with me. Wolves did play 3 at the back system. Wolves played 4-3-3. They played 3 at the back. Wolves played a lot of things. Cunha didn't always play in a 3 at the back system. He's played a 4-3-3. He's played centrally. But no, trust me. Oh, frozen there. They both have experience playing in a similar role. Maybe not the exact role, but they've had experience playing in a similar role, being more inside forwards in a 3 at the back system. They do. I hope Amrin can get us playing more expansively with signings. Been very defensive. I agree. The problem is Manchester United is crap. But Manchester United is crap at counter-attacking football, but we're even more crap at possession football. And Amrin wants to play possession football. And it's boring. It's boring. It's negative. 0-0 versus Leeds. We're not scoring goals. We're hoping with a bit of quality in attack and Cunha and Mbeumo, all of a sudden we're going to start scoring more goals. That's what we're going to hope for. I do think we need a midfielder that's progressive to help that. I do think that Amrin needs to help with our build-up from the back. It's not very good. I do think that we are a little bit boring under Amrin, and that is something that he's got to work on. Now, United are looking at midfielders, apparently. Manchester United are considering midfielders like Edison for a potential transfer, and Ben Jacobs said that Manchester United have held talks with Leicester City midfielder Wilfred Ndidi. In the last few hours, we've had somewhat decent journalists coming out saying we're considering a move for Edison and we're considering a move for Ndidi. We've held talks with Ndidi. This has all come out in the last few hours. In the last few hours, we're being linked to midfielders. Reports are coming out about Manchester United holding talks with midfielders. If you watch that pre-season game, it's obvious we need a midfielder. Now, the interesting point to mention, in my opinion, is purely the fact that Romano said we want a striker next. Romano said we want a striker next, so I assume we're going to go and sign a striker next because that's what Romano said. He said Manchester United want to go out there and sign a striker next, so I'm assuming that's what we're going to do. But I do look at Manchester United and think this team needs a midfielder. I think we all look at Manchester United and think, no, seriously, this team needs a midfielder. Will we get a striker next? That's apparently what we're going to do. But all of a sudden, we now have reports coming out that Manchester United are going to go and are looking at this midfielder and holding talks with that midfielder. Are Man United finally beginning and finally starting to do midfield work? It feels like Manchester United are finally starting to look at midfielders. I don't want Ndidi. I don't want Edison. I'd like Baleba. I'd like Adam Wharton. I'd like Angelo Stiller. I want a progressive midfielder. I'd like Carlos Baleba. I don't think we're going to get Carlos Baleba, but it's starting. We're starting to get midfield links creeping in. We're starting to look at midfielders. We need some sales to happen to be able to fund this. But now when Mbeumo's in and over the line, all of a sudden the next phase is starting. We looked at that pre-season game. Not much has changed from last season. Not much has changed in that pre-season game from last season. Do you know why? Because we've only got one signing in the door. Did you expect these bunch of players that finished 15th last season with only one new signing to produce some miracle and see Manchester United playing well versus Leeds? No, not much has changed. The biggest thing we can take away from that Leeds game is there's still a lot of work for Manchester United to do. There's a lot of work for Manchester United to do. And that's the biggest thing we can take away from that Leeds game. And Manchester United probably looked at that Leeds game, watched that Leeds game and thought, yep, we need a midfielder. We need Mbeumo, we need a midfielder, and we need a striker. Man United now apparently having conversations with midfielders, working on midfielders. Is this the start of us working on midfielder? Who knows? We like Edison. We have a long-standing interest there. We have some interest in Ndidi. He will be cheap. He will be affordable. With our budget, Ndidi's probably the most realistic right now. But United will need to sell to buy a midfielder. We want a midfielder. It's starting. We're starting to look at midfielders. We're starting to talk to midfielders. This is an encouraging sign that we are planning to sign a midfielder, which is something we need to do. It seems that it's striker next, then midfielder. But to sign a striker and a midfielder, we need some sales. Rashford exit has saved us 17 million, by the way. Marcus Rashford's exit, according to the Times, has saved Manchester United 17 million. Barcelona are covering all his wages, and Rashford is taking a wage cut, which means Manchester United do not have to cover in his wages. Jadon Sancho takes some notes from Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is taking a wage cut to go on loan to Barcelona because Manchester United said to Rashford, "We're not paying your wages to go out on loan." So Rashford went, "Cool, I'll cut my wages by 30%. Barcelona will pay all my wages for this loan move." Rashford has taken a wage cut to go on loan to Barcelona. Jadon Sancho takes some notes. But because we're not paying any of Rashford's wages while he's out at Barcelona on loan, we've saved 17 million a year in that. We've also brought in about 14, 15 million from Alvaro Elanga and Maxi Holiday sell-on clauses. So there is a little bit of money coming in from Manchester United. But for Manchester United to be able to go and sign a good striker and a good midfielder, we need Garnacho to be sold. Garnacho is pure profit. He's on low wages. He'll be easiest to sell. There's a feeling we could bring in 60 million. For United to do what we need to do in the window, we need Garnacho to be sold. My worry is there's going to be a swap deal with Jackson and we're not going to get a good deal out of it. That's my worry. But if we want to do good business, if we want things to happen, we need to sell Garnacho. And that's, we're looking at midfielders. We're starting to look at midfielders. We're starting to make moves for midfielders, which is a great move. But for things to advance, for things to happen, we need Garnacho is the one that we need to sell. He's the one we need to sell. Guys, I just need to go and answer the door. I will be back in. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry. I needed to sign a parcel. So I couldn't miss the door. I when you need to sign for it, so you have to go get it. So yeah, Manchester United is starting to look at midfielders. That is good news. But realistically, the only midfielder we're going to be getting, unless we sell, is Ndidi. Unless we sell, it's going to be Ndidi. So that's something we need to bear in mind. We're looking at midfielders. We want a midfielder. We're starting the process of looking at midfielders. Cool. But striker is next. Any funds we make is going to go on a striker signing. We need sales for a midfielder. And we want a midfielder and we need a midfielder desperately. And I hope we sign a midfielder. But we are going to need sales. That's what we're going to need. Oh, guys. Oh, look at this. Have you seen this? Wow. I didn't expect this to come out. Oh, guys, look at this. Let me share my screen. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Hey, let me share my screen. Here we go. Guess who's at Carrington? Guess who's been pictured at Carrington? Yeah, that's Mbeumo. He's been pictured at Carrington. Look at that, people. Ryan Mbeumo is here. He's in the door. He's at Carrington. He's been pictured. Look at that. That is what you like to see. Ryan Mbeumo at Carrington, pictured in the door. There we go. Lovely stuff. I told you he's at Carrington. I told you at Manchester United. We haven't seen a picture of him in the new away shirt yet, but he's been pictured at Carrington. He's been pictured at Manchester United. Manchester United are close to Gyokeres is what's being reported, but realistically, it's probably not close. I'm honest with you guys. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I think Gyokeres will go to Arsenal and we'll end up with Watkins or Jackson. If I was going to be completely honest, I'd love Gyokeres. I'd love to hijack Arsenal. I think it's BS. I think we're being used to get a bigger bid out of Arsenal. I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm going to be honest with you. But Man United apparently are advanced with Gyokeres, but I think it's all bullshit. Yeah. The Mbeumo pics are out, people. The Mbeumo pictures are out, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful to see those Mbeumo pictures. Absolutely beautiful to see. Very happy about that. But yes, let's continue into other stories. So it is being reported by the Times that United will save 17 million from Rashford's wages. Rashford is taking a salary cut to join Barcelona, so Jadon Sancho needs to take some notes from that. But I want to quickly talk about pre-season and some things that Amran has said and all of that. I thought Diego Leon was solid. He's just joined, like, it's nothing special, but nothing bad. I thought Diego Leon was solid. Amran said he's come from Paraguay. It's his second week. He's done well. He's powerful. He's learning. I liked what I saw from Diego Leon. Nothing special from Diego Leon, but I liked what I saw from Diego Leon. I think, Dorgu was really good. I thought Dorgu was really, really impressive. Yoro was good. Yoro's passing, Yoro's switch of play. That was really good from Lenny Yoro. I thought not Mbeumo, I thought Cunha was good, the way he was dribbling and taking on players. There was good signs. Was yesterday a boring game? Yes. Was I bored yesterday? Yes. Was I disappointed? Yes. Did I want more? Yes. Did I expect more? Maybe a little bit. But we finished 15th. These are the same bunch of players that finished 15th. And the only new player in there, because I'm not counting Leon, was Cunha. So what did we expect? Were we expecting Amrin to change it around with just Cunha in the door and produce miracles? What did we expect? It was a disappointing 0-0 versus Leeds, but we ended both halves well. There was encouraging signs from Yoro and Dorgu. I thought Maino looked good. Cunha looked good. There was some encouraging signs there. Heater made some good saves. But yeah, we watched that game. And what we learned from watching the Leeds game is we need a lot more to happen. We need a midfielder, we need a striker, and we need a keeper. That's what we need to happen. Collier, poor bloke, put him in the pivot, please, Amran. You're wasting him over there. Put him in the pivot, please. But that's what we need. That's what we need. We looked at the 0-0 versus Leeds. There were some encouraging signs. Cunha was good, but we need a midfielder. Now, there's two reports coming out about United talking to this midfielder and that midfielder, so let's hope that's the case. But yeah, Leon and Cunha. I liked Leon and Cunha. I liked what we saw from Leon and Cunha. Someone said Sully talks poster. What's Sully put out? Let me have a look, see if he's put out anything. Because Sully's quite well informed. Alice, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Nicholas Jackson signing? It depends on the price. I'm going to be honest. Nicholas Jackson, for the right price, isn't a bad signing. He's not who I want, but for the right price, Nicholas Jackson isn't a bad signing. I'm going to be honest with you, for the right price. Anyway. Oh, big bomber. Here we go. I'll tell you what, this has been a proper stream. This has been a proper good stream, by the way, guys. So we got everyone tuning in. We've had a lot of news, a lot of things to talk about, but Sully is coming with a bomber here. Exclusive. Bryan Mbeumo has successfully completed his Manchester United medical test, and as well as signing official contract today in Carrington. Him and his family visited Old Trafford yesterday, set to be in squad for USA tour. Club statement soon. Let's give that a retweet there. And Mbeumo has completed his medical. Bish, bash, bosh, people. Great news to see. Big up Sully. We've already seen the picture of Mbeumo as well. This could be announced tonight. I think it will be announced tomorrow. It's not like United to announce deals that quickly. But this could be announced tonight. Ben Jacobs has just now confirmed Mbeumo has completed his medical. So when Mbeumo, guys, has completed his medical, he's been pictured. Bish, bash, bosh. So what a deal. What a signing Mbeumo will be, by the way. What a signing. I'm super excited about Mbeumo coming in. Super excited. So Sully and Ben Jacobs have confirmed that. Let's go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. What do you think will happen next? I'm going to be honest. I think there's no chance of Gyokeres. I think we will sell Garnacho and we will sign Nicholas Jackson, if I'm going to predict. And then we'll go for a midfielder. And hopefully we sign a good midfielder. Who knows? Hopefully we sign a good midfielder. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we sign a good midfielder. We're starting work on a midfield signing. We're starting work. We've held talks with Ndidi. Yeah? We've held talks with Edison. So Man United watched the pre-season game yesterday where it was obvious we need a midfielder. And we got reports of Edison and Ndidi today. So United are looking at midfielder. Amrin wants to sign a midfielder. Man United plan to sign a midfielder this summer. But right now, it is sales, striker, midfielder. And if Bayindir goes, second keeper. We're not signing a first-team keeper. We're not signing Emi Martinez, despite rumours, despite Emi Martinez trying to make that happen because Onana is staying. Bayindir is expected to go. A good second keeper, probably John Victor of Botafogo, is going to come in to replace Bayindir, who's expected to challenge Onana because it's unlikely we're going to have the funds for a first-choice keeper. The funds that we do raise through Garnacho, through Rashford's wages saved, hopefully Sancho going, hopefully Antony going, will be invested in a striker. That striker could be Gyokeres if Arsenal bottle it. I don't think Arsenal will bottle it. I think he will go to Arsenal. It could be Sesko, but I think he will be pricey. It's a difficult deal to do. But Sesko is open to a Manchester United move. I think that striker will be Watkins or Jackson. And I think after we sign one of Watkins or Jackson, I think we will move for a midfielder. We have looked at Javi Guerrera, but I think we're being used again. We have looked at Richard Rios, but I think we're being used. I think a lot of the midfielders we're being linked to are also linked to other clubs, and I think we're being used to get those players a move. But yeah, there is positive signs. There is good news coming in regards to United, and United do plan on signing a midfielder, people. They do plan on signing a midfielder. They do plan on getting a deal done. There is talk about Gyokeres being advanced, but as I said, I think it's BS. I think it's BS. I don't think we're doing anything for Gyokeres. He's made it clear he wants Arsenal. He's made it clear he's desperate for Arsenal. Why would we go and put in a massive bid when we don't have money to put in a bid for anybody else? Where have we got the money from to make a massive bid for Gyokeres? Where have we got the money from to make a massive bid from Gyokeres? One, we don't have the money, and two, why would we make a massive bid for Gyokeres when it's made it clear he wants Arsenal? He's made it really blatantly clear he only wants Arsenal. Like, he has. Yes, have you seen the Mbeumo pictures, guys? He is at Carrington. What do you think of Jackson? Jackson's underrated. Nicholas Jackson's underrated. I don't want him. He's not the striker I want because he's rash and he's a confidence player, and we don't have the best environment for someone like Nicholas Jackson. But Nicholas Jackson is underrated. Nicholas Jackson, as someone said in the chat earlier, is a good footballer. I don't think he's a good striker, but I think he's a good footballer, and I think his PR is bad. I think Nicholas Jackson is incredibly underrated. Do I want him at Manchester United? No. Do I think he's rash? Do I think he's a liability? Do I worry about the environment at Manchester United not being the best place for someone like Nicholas Jackson? Yes. But Nicholas Jackson, I'm telling you, is so much better than he gets credit for online. It's not who I'd sign, but he's a lot, like, I don't think it's the end of the world if we sign Nicholas Jackson. Everybody's like, oh, Nicholas Jackson. Oh, I can't believe we're going to get Nicholas Jackson. People are getting upset over it, crying over it. Nicholas Jackson. I don't think it's that bad if we sign Nicholas Jackson, in all honesty. I don't think it's that bad of a deal. I think it could work. Do you want to see United change formation? I'd rather United play a back four than a back three, but Ruben Amorim's got to do what he's got to do. Would I rather us play a back four? Yes. Do I? But yeah, the problem with Jackson is his conversion rate. That's what the problem is. His all-round play is good. He's a lot better at Højlund at linking play, running the channels, passing, holding up the ball. You know how Xerxes isn't really scoring many goals, but Xerxes is such a step up from Højlund because at least Xerxes can do the other stuff. Højlund can't score goals or do the other stuff right now. Xerxes can't score goals, but Xerxes is at least doing the other stuff. Nicholas Jackson's another Xerxes. Nicholas Jackson's another Xerxes. It's not who I want. I would like a more clinical goal scorer, but it's another Xerxes. It's an improvement on what we have. Not United news, but how ridiculous is it that City with billionaire owners are trying to renegotiate a lower buyback clause on James Trafford? Oh, it's ridiculous. I just thought City would go for Chevalier. I thought James Trafford was going to Newcastle and City were getting Chevalier. I'm surprised City are going for James Trafford. I am shocked, but maybe they need English for homegrown quota. Maybe. A lot of people want Sesko. Well, look, Sesko is open to joining United, even without European football. Sesko has interest in United, but look, I don't think we can afford him. Unless all of a sudden we make some nice money for Garnacho, Antony, and Sancho, I don't think we can afford Sesko. Because right now, I feel like Antony's going to go on loan, Sancho's going to go on loan, and we'll probably do a swap deal with Garnacho for Jackson. That's what I think we're going to do in regards to outs, if I was going to be totally honest. Alice, do you know Liverpool have signed Ekatike? Unfortunately, they have. That is true. Liverpool have signed Ekatike, which I'm not going to lie, I'm jealous. It's annoying that we finished 15th. We finished 15th, people, and we're just so slow in the market. We're so slow in the market after finishing 15th. And Liverpool have won the league. And not only have Liverpool won the league, but Liverpool are like, oh, we're not just happy we won the league. Liverpool want to win the next 3-4 leagues in a row. Liverpool want to have a dominant spell like we had under Fergie, like City have had under Pep. Liverpool are looking for 21, 22, 23. Yeah, it's painful. It's painful what Liverpool are doing. I hate it. I hate Liverpool. I hate how good they are. I hate how good their transfer business is. And I think Hugo TK will be class for them. Maybe Garnacho goes to Villa. I think he would choose Chelsea over Villa, but maybe he goes to Villa. I want Sesko for United to instalments. If we could pay Sesko over 5 years in instalments, it's possible. If we can do Sesko over 5 years in instalments, it is definitely possible. Do you think we'll sell Delo? No. Someone said please sell Delo. I'm happy to keep Delo and he bring back depth. I think Delo improved. I actually thought Delo was really bad when Amorim first came in, but then it ended quite well before his injury. I thought Delo's last few games before his injury ended well, but that's the thing we had. Leacher started poor under Amorim, then had 5-6 good games in a row, got injured. Delo started poor under Amorim, had 5-6 good games in a row, got injured. Lenny Euro struggled at first, had a load of good games in a row, got injured. It was like as soon as our players had started to look good, they got injured last season. Xerxes, really poor start to look good, got injured. It was like the cycle at Manchester United. People, let's go for 500 likes. If we haven't hit 500 likes already, I have no idea how many likes we're on right now. But look, what is the news? What is the stories? What is the updates going on? I'm going to give you a roundup in these next 3 minutes. Manchester United are reportedly close to hijacking deal for Victor Gyokeres. This has come out from Portuguese sources and Portuguese sources only, which likely means it's a sporting brief to try and get a bigger bid out of Arsenal. Gyokeres has told Manchester United he wants Arsenal. Manchester United do not have the money to bid for Victor Gyokeres. I do not believe that Manchester United are hijacking a Victor Gyokeres deal. I'd like to believe it. I hope we are. I hope it's true. I don't think we're hijacking a Victor Gyokeres deal, if I'm going to be completely honest. That's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about is United have had talks with Ndidi and United are looking at Edison. United are looking at midfielder. They want to sign a midfielder. I don't think it's going to happen until late August. I don't think anything's going to happen soon. The third thing I want to talk about is Matheus Cunha's mint, and I can't wait for Mbeumo to be in the door. What a signing Mbeumo is. It is done. It is official. It should be announced soon. But Sully dropped the bomber while we were live that his medical is complete. So that's good news on Mbeumo. Marcus Rashford has gone to Barcelona. Here we go. On loan, and that saved Manchester United £17 million. So that's good there. There is reports from Italy that Sancho's exit is close, but we've been told that for 3 weeks and nothing has happened, so I just don't believe it's at this rate in time. Anthony, no idea what's going on. Garnacho, Chelsea interest, Jackson interest, Watkins interest, Sesko could be one to watch. That is what you need to know on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. I'm going to finish the show here, and I'm going to go and redirect you to Never a Foul. Guys, go and raid Never a Foul on YouTube. We're going to redirect you there now. Go give Never a Foul a raid. Thank you for watching. Bye.